First of all, you can see our office here. This is one floor up from the ground floor. And this is next door. This is street out there, busy street. This is Sibel, and who handles our sales. And she's a Washingtonian Turk. And this is the office. This is about, I don't know, about 30 square, no, about 50 square meters. No, about 30 square meters this side, and about 20 square meters this side. And here are a few of our torbellinos. As you can see, already some of them are already transformed into different designs. We have taken the original, Ralph's original torbellino and created 4 more designs. But these would be the most representative of the original torbellino. I'm sure there's room for improvement, but this is one major change we've made recently is not a permanent change, but for many users we've changed the opening of the chair to the back. For independent users, we still have the opening in the front, but for some of them we moved it to the back, so the person pulls it like that, and we're ready to go, ready to fold up. Especially
interesting.
Especially for our children's chairs, the children who aren't going to be using them themselves, and then it's, as you know, the regular folding. Of course, I didn't move the arms out. I don't remember how the opening again is pretty simple. It's the folding parts are the same, but we've turned them around. Folding parts are the same, but we've reversed them so that they will work this way pretty well. No problem. They lock, never open up. Just for your information, we were selling these Ligero chairs, all designed by Wayne Hansen. But since the Turkish lira has gone through the floor, we can't sell them anymore. Too expensive. They've become like what's about 4 times more than they were 4 years ago. In 2 years, these for Turkish people it's become impossible. They're great chairs, but impossible. Here's a couple Rough Riders that just happened to be standing here. We were doing some experimenting with them. You can see now what they look like without much upholstery. Anything you want to see here? We want them to know we delivered at the middle position here, but we tell them that they can move it back for more stability or move it forward. But people don't like to change. I think it's just maybe they're afraid. I don't know. Here you can see these ones have the quick release in them here now. And this one also has adjustable height backrest. We've got two 6mm bolts, one here, one down here, and it will give you all three positions. We've got washers welded on the frame here and there, and we've got a.
And is the side frame all made out of 22 and 25 mm tubing?
It's all made of, the basic frame are made of 21 by 1.2 millimeter.
Okay.
The seat tube here is made out of 25 by 1.5 millimeter. The crossbar is 25 by 2 millimeter. It's 25 square. In fact, and you can see a 6 millimeter bar. Maybe you can see we use for reinforcement here. we've even changed that. We don't think it's necessary anymore to have it so heavy, but we have a,
Yeah,
I'll show you downstairs, I'll show you, we have a triangle piece in there now.
that's good. Yeah, 25 by 1.5 is pretty strong already.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other joints down here, the welding is, we have, my two new welders I'll introduce you to later are excellent. And they do TIG welding now. We don't do any more MIG welding, but mostly TIG welding, and it's excellent.
Sure looks good.
Doesn't require any almost no what do you call it? No grinding anymore.
Yeah, those are
So
beautiful. Those are beautiful welds.
they do a nice job, and I'll let them explain to you. So you can see the welds are very clean and solid. Here's the back post. Toward a new life for children with special needs is the English translation of the Arabic. I don't know what it is. It's probably not even Arabic. It's probably Kurdish. The buyer is somebody in the States. They know the people that it's an NGO there in Iraq, and so again, 3 parties involved. We're doing the manufacturing, somebody else is paying for it, and this guy makes adapts these chairs like the ones you saw upstairs for kids. When he gets a chair, he doesn't know who's going to get the recipient, so it's his job to make it wider or narrower.
Wheelchair
change the upholstery. Actually, absolutely, a lot of work is done, but he doesn't know who's going to come.
Yeah.
There's our tubing. There's one of our radial cutter here, radial saw. Here's some of the Ligero chairs from the States we have left over, haven't been able to sell yet. Maybe 2 or 3 last year, that was it. Workstation here for assembly. Here's one of those, a fixed Torbellino with small back wheels. And you can see the brake system, the folding system there. Lots of materials in stock, wheels. This is where Mohammed works. I'll introduce you to Mohammed in a while. There's our table we use for measuring. It's a slab of marble. It's half the thickness of a gravestone. There's a graveyard nearby, so they cut us a nice piece. We still have 2 pieces. There's some experiments we've been doing on the Rough Rider. Again, a lower a adjustable height backrest tube there, 1-inch tube, and sheet metal cover here. This sheet metal cover is a 0.5 millimeter thick. There's no sharp edges on it. This edge will be covered with a pad across the top all the way down to here. The bottom, this one happens to be folded, so there's no sharp edge there either. You weld a piece like this on and weld it across the bottom here, and then there'll be only 3 points needed after that. Basically, the top will have a weld here, a weld here. This one also have a piece, yeah. It'll be welded to this, it'll be welded to this, and just one piece more welded to.
And what that 1 mm sheet metal?
0.5 mil.
0.5 mil. I noticed the back edge of it is folded over. Are any other of those edges protected?
The bottom will be welded to this one, and so there'll be 2 thicknesses here. So this is be 1 mil. So it'll also be, it won't be at the weld at the bottom, but just above the bottom, so that it won't be any sharp edges there. And the same thing goes with this place here. It'll also be welded just inside there, so there won't be any sharp edges. And the
Okay,
top
good.
edges will be protected by the cover.
Why did you go with the metal side guard like this?
We decided it was time. I mean, I wanted to have the plastic one, but to make the plastic mold was so expensive. You know, if we had started maybe 10 years ago, maybe we've made several thousand of these now, but it just seems to be expensive, high expense. So this is a cheaper way to go. And the difficulty of making the covers we have upstairs with snaps, they're cloth snaps, and I mean they're metal snaps on cloth, and tying them on here and there. There's ties in the front, ties in the back. It's just a lot of work. This seems to be a much better way of doing it, but we'll see. Over on this shelf, you can see we have a lot of Torbellino stock. We always keep 10, 20, 30 units of each Torbellino. We have now 5 different variations, including the original. So these are always here for us to take off the shelf and weld. To assemble. Here we have a lot of Rough Rider stock. We have we get these cross pieces punched out. We cut them to length, and we get the holes and the ends punched out to our specifications. Here we also get our bars for our Torbellinos. We get them also punched out, the ends cut for us. So we have lots of those on stock, lots of laser cut of these stabilizer bars for the Rough Rider, and with stabilizer guide board. Lots of parts like that. Also here, you maybe can't see very well, but lots of Rough Rider parts. These are our welding jigs for Torbellinos. These are our welding jigs for our Rough Riders. Basic design came from you with the help of Matt and the Cambridge and industrial engineering students that came and helped us once from Wisconsin Stout. Great guys. Over here we have this is Ardal. He's been working in doing welding for about 30 years here. Most of the time in Ankara, but the previous 10 years in Germany. And he came back last summer and he needed a job, and a friend introduced me to him. And he's not only a master welder, but he's also a trainer, welding trainer. With him, there's one other guy, and that guy is not here today. He's a student, not a university student, but a welding industrial student. He's from Iraq. He's in his late 20s, got a family. He's an excellent welder. The government is sponsoring his education, and they're probably going to give him a passport and a citizenship, because he comes from a Turkish-speaking part of Iraq, so he fits in perfectly. Though he speaks, with Salamir, he speaks Arabic because they're together. They're from the same country, rather. But he also speaks Turkish, and no problem. Whereas Erdal, he speaks some English, and of course German and Turkish and Kurdish. So he's an all-around guy too. This is one of our MIG machines. He's making some tooling here, so he's using this MIG machine. We've got another one here. What's the amperage of this? Do you know? Kaç amperlik? Huh? 200. This is 200 amp machine, and the other one also 300. 300 amps.
And
This one.
what size of TIG machine are you using? Is one of,
Over here.
okay,
That's this. How many amps is this one? Do you know? EQs. 200 amps, this one. And this is plenty for us.
yeah, I would expect so.
After discussing it and talking with them about it, they said, yeah, it'll get tired. If you use it all day long, it'll get tired and it won't make a good weld. So
Yeah,
we got a little bit bigger one and we're glad we did.
I totally agree at that about 180, 200 amp being the compromise is just right for thin wall tubing construction. Bicycle makers love that size as well.
This is 200. So we've got enough capacity for all of our parts. Here's our axle blocks. Here's our front caster tubes. We get them opened up for the size of our bearings, and we put a spacer bar in there, a spacer tube.
You're making those with which machine?
We have to send these out. We cut them ourselves, but we have to send them out for the lathe opening to the exact size we want of our bearings. But then we cut the inner tube, and we cut it to length, and we weld it in. We drill a hole, and then we weld it inside, so that's exactly the way we want it.
But you outsource the milling.
Yes, just the milling, right. This, they also mill the edge of it as well. These are the footrest clamps for the Rough Rider. We have them stamped out with the canal there, a channel in it, and we have these other tubes. These are, clamps. These are the bottom tubes for the weld onto the frame for the seat cross brace, the guide tube. These are the backrest tubes now we're using. Bolt, we were afraid it was going to start moving around and that would be sloppy, and we didn't want that sloppiness. But it might have worked, but we decided to go with 2.
Totally makes sense.
So here we got the bolt. Here's the system, and before you do that, why don't you pull it all the way out? Okay, so each position has 2 holes in the backrest tube. Can you pull it all the way out?
Can you say how much extra weight you get with adjustable backrest?
No, I can't tell you how much, but when you include the washers, the welding, this tubing, this is only 1 millimeter thick, this tube, but this is the backrest tube. But a little bit longer tube here. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be 100 grams, I'm sure.
Okay.
Each side.
Yeah.
But anyway, 5 holes makes it very solid. And we use round head bolts in the front with a hex with the Allen wrench. So the front part, the upholstery will go over that place. So it's not going to be a sharp place. Hold it right there for a second. Yeah, the upholstery will go through around here. So with a round head bolt, we won't have any, shouldn't have any problem with tearing or anything there. Anyway, so you can see there's a 50 of them here ready to go to weld on those pieces. If you had any more comment about those 5 millimeter sheet pieces, I would like to have it because I'm going to have them cut today.
Can put things in hold.
So Ken, the table right there that you're working with, it's got all those holes. Is that one you constructed or bought?
We made this. We made this here. It's recently, a few months ago. It's got holes. We can design tooling here. We can do welding on it. It's an excellent tool we have. It's got wheels. It's got wheels with locks on it. My other welder is a bit shorter. Erdal is very tall. Ahmed is very short, so this works for him. Erdal has to lean over a bit, but still it's good. This is 8mm sheet. We had each hole drilled and they're tapped, so we can put stands on them. It's 8mm sheet here, and frame. You can't see very much, but anyway,
Yeah.
they built it, and it's we're really happy to have it. They also rebuilt all of our welding stations. This is a welding station right now. It just has material on it. Lighting, these welding stations, they work in tandem. One does a spot weld, and the other one does the final weld.
There was a welding table made, you know, with Salam.
Yeah, that would be this one here. And this is the bar we're going to use across here, across here and across here. Can you see that? And then the other piece will be welded to this one. And so there'll be 2mm, well, 1.5mm thick. And it won't be any sharp edges anymore. Anyway.
Your bender is
Here.
where?
This is the original Hausfeld. Still using it, 30 years on. Thanks for recommending that, Ralph. This is another one we had built in Istanbul. And this one over here.
That's your mandrel bender.
Yeah, good. I like
Right.
it, bender.
We have 2 mandrel benders here with different size dies. We've been using them a long time. This one also, we've worn out a lot of the
One works horizontally, and that one works.
we've worn out a lot of the dies for this one because it's just so many thousands of bends.
And so do you make your own new dies or do you order them?
We have, and I'm not happy with them. I had some discussions with Hausfeld, and they said, yeah, it's easy to make some of them, but some of the parts are not. For example, this one here, one side is wider than the other.
Right, and the angles are different on both of them.
Yeah, and so they don't always. We have to sometimes clamp the pieces, like with this thing here. Before we bend them, we have to clamp them in here, or else they will slip out.
Yeah, the hospital original dies were designed with years of experimenting, but not necessarily with a lot of science. And
No,
so,
exactly. They said they told me that our guy's been doing it so many years. We don't interfere. He knows what he's doing, and he does a great job. But
Right.
they don't do every size.
no,
And we had a hard time when we had to move from 22 to 21mm tube. That was really difficult. Making them bend without slipping.
Well-
I'd like to introduce you to Mohammed. He's been with me for 12 years on the Kilo Demon. He's entering his 12th year. He's been doing assembly. He's working on this variant of the Torbellino. Sibel just brought down an order for a single order for a Rough Rider. It still says, this one still says San Francisco. We have to change that to Berkeley. Here's our own label on it with our barcode, etc. But he's gonna introduce you to downstairs, and that's the last place I wanted to show you. That's where we have our storage of our Rough Riders, and where we do assembly when we have a bulk order.
In the basement, we have another 2,000 square feet where we can do a lot of storage. Our compressor. We have quite a few cross braces of several sizes ready to go. We can put about 300 frames up here, I think, when they're full. Assembly done over here. Parts and storage, so we can do a quick assembly when necessary. Wheels, forks. These are new backrest tubes for the adjustable frames. Footrests. Here Mohammed is assembling wheels. We make our own hand rims and have the wheels trued up locally. The hubs we buy from the Czech Republic. Pretty good quality. And these go over each of the fingers there to protect fingers. More wheels and storage. We could put about 300 wheels up there on the shelf. Different parts in storage, pumps, plugs. And user manuals in Arabic and in Turkish, etc. Glue for repair kits and touches. Valve removers, etc. Pumps. And over here we have more storage boxes for shipping of various sizes. They can be adjusted. And other wheels we get for our smaller wheelchairs. These came from the Czech Republic. And when we have a big order, we assemble the chairs here. We test them here to roll straight, and then with an electric winch, we draw them through this grating, moving the grating, we draw them up through this hole into the ground floor, and then package them and send them off the bus.